What's up, guys? Welcome back to AC Designs Garage, and on this episode we're going to be showing you how to do a little cut buff on some rattle can 2K clear and make it look like a show car. So here we go. All right, real quick, guys, we're going to go over what we've used and recap on kind of what we've done to this bedside if you hadn't seen the videos. But I'll link the videos below. Make sure you go watch it after the end of this one. I'd appreciate it. But I'm going to show you real quick what we used. A few videos ago, 320 the bedside, I think it was, and then we shot this flat black enamel. Used it for kind of like your base coat if you're doing base coat, clear coat. This works a lot better. I have used the gloss before, but it peels really bad. Stuff here lays down nice and dries pretty fast. And then the next video I come out and we wet sanded the flat black with 600, I think it was, and you can probably 400, 600, you can do either one. I think we've done 600. And then come back with this 2K. This is catalyzed clear. This is not regular old enamel clear that you use stuff. It's got this cap you put on the bottom. You hit the bottom of it, it shoots the catalyst in it, and it's a hardened clear. This ain't like the 2X that you get at like big box stores that Rust-Oleum makes. This is kind of like a professional clear. Look, it even says professional use only. This is a 2-part paint. Contains isocyanate. Like always, I use my Scott shop rags. We have those here. I like these motor guard blocks here. We're gonna block when we do the cutting on the first round. The motor guards are a little, the black is a little firmer and the gray's a little softer. I like using these unless we got to cut a whole lot of peel out. Then I want to use a little more firm block, because if you got to do a lot of cutting on it, you'll get a little wonky. Now this bedside has some dings in it, so after we buff it, they're going to show up. This is not a how to body work video, it's just a cut and buff video. So what we're going to start out with is some 2000 wet. We got a bucket of water over here. Then we're going to jump up to 25, then we're going to buff it. As par for course, let me go show you. My favorite buffer of all times decided not to work no more on the day that I need to shoot this video. I got one of the Rupes, whatever, Bigfoot 21 DA polisher thingies. They're rad. I'm going to fix this one. But here she lays. The module, I went online on my YouTube School of Mechanicing, and a lot of guys are saying that module where the variable speed goes out, you can buy them. They're $100. So me and Dad gonna run up to the old Harbor Freight here in a little bit, and I'm gonna get a regular old variable speed buffer. That's what you guys don't want me to use. I've used one for 20 years. I just like those new DAs. I'm gonna go ahead and I like to throw my, this is just regular old water out of the spigot. I like to throw my sandpaper in there and just kind of let it soak a little bit. We might run in here and get some Dawn. I like to put a little bit of soap in with it. It kind of acts like a lubricant for it. It makes it slide. But don't put the lubricant in like your Dawn or car wash or whatever first, because if you do, you'll just have a bunch of suds. You just kind of want it slimy. We got some. This is what I used to custom paint that welding helmet that time. I don't know if you guys saw that. Might link that one down there too. Some of y'all might want to see how to custom paint with Dawn dish soap. Pretty fun. So we're gonna get out here and looby-doob up the old bucket of agua here. Now if you hear it sounds like a bunch of machine guns going off, no, I'm not in a war zone. They decided to build houses near me. Ugh. I've been living here for 46 years and ain't had no neighbors. I'm not, yeah, anyways. We won't go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, basically I just put a bunch in here. You don't mix it up or nothing, you just put her in there like that and let her be. Let that soak about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna come over here real quick. We're gonna get the old spray way. We're gonna clean where I've been mowing. It's got dust. It got dew all over it, so it dirtied it up. Now if this thing was cut and buffed right now, you would not want to do this. You'd want to wash it really good, because this is probably gonna scratch it. Put some light scratches in it, but we're getting ready to buff it, so. Now I'm gonna buff this like this for a driver. Not really buff it like it's man, I got there's a red overspray on it from something. Oh, I bet when I was painting them paint shakers, I bet they got overspray on it. But I'm gonna buff this like a driver. We're probably just gonna go down to around in here. We're not gonna come below. If you're doing a show car, we buff all the way down to the edge. But these here, this is like kind of be like something you're gonna drive every day, and you don't want to cut too much unless it's just really bad on the bottom. You don't want to cut too much off of it, and Give you a little more protection down there. And this is just a demo too, if you dig what I'm screaming. But one little tip is, when you're clearing these things, make sure you put enough clear on them, because if you do cut through at this point, now if I cut through on this one, it's no big deal because it's just a demo bed, but like on a real car that you're going to do, if you're worried about cutting through, hard edges are where a lot of times, and it gets thin here on these rolls. Any edge like this, if you want to come back and tape it with masking tape where you don't sand it and get it all thin and stuff, ain't no shame in that, because it takes a lot more work to come back and fix it. Grab one more towel. My knees do not work on this ground. Ha! Quick wipe off, and like I said, we'll just come down here to this edge. Also guys, I want to thank all y'all that donated and bought shirts and stuff. Like I said, through the whole month of October, we're taking the proceeds from these rad Death Before Electric t-shirts, and we're gonna cut a check, send it up to the children's home in Swananoa near Asheville, where they had all the floods and stuff. And I think we're up to about 500 bucks. So thank you guys. A lot of guys have sent money and said, you know, use it where, you know, you can help out the most. And I really appreciate it. But if you can't, pray for these people, guys. Prayer's just as important or more important than the cash and stuff is. But I think it's around 500 bucks. We added a little to it. We're gonna send it up there to the children's home. So they'll appreciate it. We appreciate it. And I know I got the greatest subscribers in the world. You guys rock. Y'all are so awesome. But anyway, there's a few of these shirts left. You want to scoop them up? I don't know if we're going to make this again. We're going to do another design before long. Drop down the comments below. We're going to probably put a poll up on the community tab. Man, Elias, they got full automatic nail guns. Anyway, we're going to put it on a community post, a few different designs or something we may do with Volkswagen or something. So if you want a chance to get one of these Shake Masters, I do small batches because I'm just one man. But go to the website and subscribe to the email, and we're going to start doing an email blast out. Whenever I do one, we're not going to spam you with a bunch of junk, but that's the easiest way for me to do it. We're just going to send you an email blast out to everybody, subscribe to it, let you know when they're up and ready, available, and jump on them, because we only put 10 at a time up, because that's all I can do and make videos. All right, we're going to take our 2000, and I just line mine up on the edge of these, and I'll link all this stuff in my Amazon affiliate links below in the description box below the video, and you can just go down there and click on it. Takes you right to it. It don't cost you guys any more money, but it does help me. It does help the channel out a little bit, and it don't cost you guys anything else. So let's take our shop rag and we'll just wet this down. I just do it at like a 45-degree angle, kind of like that. Just, you don't want to just straight go. I just kind of like to do this area because you're covering more area, and it's less chances of putting little wonky places in it. But every now and then you may see me do that, and then we'll cut up and go this way. Just kind of walk around. We'll do like a 1 foot square area. And what I'm gonna do is, when I come up on this, I'll just roll it up on the edge to do this radius. Stuff, I didn't put enough Dawn in it. She ain't gliding as good. After it gets flat, it'll glide a little better. This kind of cleans it and makes it we'll just keep working this area around. And remember, there's a lot of places you can get this sandpaper that you can't get a buffer into, so kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But as you do it now, see how it's really gliding across here? We've got the peel and it's getting to a flatter surface. We'll take that squeegee here in a second. Alright, we're going to wipe this off. Wet your squeegee. All right, guys, you can see in here how it kind of looks just blah, 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 blah. I don't know what you'd call it. That's peels. What you're seeing, the darker spots or the shiny spots are the low spots, and then the flat spots are the high spots. It kind of makes sense. That's like there's a piece of trash right there, you can see. And we're just basically, see how this looks flat black right here. It's just good and flat black. And over here it's got the little pokey dotties all over it. Well, you want rid of the pokey dotties. You want it to look good and flat black. Like this here, that's a little low spot. We're probably not gonna worry too much. We may get it out into 25, but I'm not going. A lot of times if you start digging with that stuff there and you try to get it out, you'll end up cutting through or something. We don't want to do that. You know, we got almost half of the bedside sanded, but yeah, we're just trying to get this areas here out with the peel, get her flat with 25, and basically all the 25 is going to do is the 25 is going to take the 2,000 scratches out. This wet sand, a lot of people likes the dry sand over wet sand because of the mess that it makes, but I just dig the wet sand. But if you once you do this enough, you'll get a feel for it, and you can kind of feel the ripples and little bumpy bumps and stuff in here, and it'll start feeling smoother here. Almost feels like you're sanding over gravel kind of. You can just feel the texture and stuff in the sanding block while you're sanding it. And then once it gets down smooth, it just glides right across there. Yeah, use a block, guys, because if you just fold the paper and do this, it'll basically do this. It's so easy to put fingerprints in it. It'll give you little wobbly wonkies. Yeah, I don't really know how straight this bedside is on this side. The other side turned out great. And for you international guys that are watching, we are working on trying to, I'd like to be able to ship stuff to you guys. I know it's ridiculous on shipping, but I am gonna offer it. Let's wash this off real quick. See how she's looking. If everything goes right next week, guys, make sure you tune in, make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff, because we're gonna be playing with a little custom painting here with some spray bombing on the side of this here unit. You're gonna want to see it. We got a few weeks of some really neat stuff I want to do. Eventually we're gonna have to strip this bedside. It's gonna be a foot wider than it was from the factory. I can see a little bit of peel right in this area here. You guys probably can't see it. I don't think it picks up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over this real quick and just double check everywhere, and then we'll go back over to 25. And then we're gonna run to the Harbor Freight and figure out what kind of boofer we're gonna get. Make sure when you wash a black car, or any car, it's a good habit to get in. Never wash in circles, guys. That's what gives your swirls. When I wash a car, it don't matter what direction you wash it. Straight this way, up and down, it don't matter. Just keep it in the same direction. And the reason being, if you get any trash or anything under it, straight line scratches, you don't want any, but straight line scratches are going to not show near as much as the Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. That is not the right way to wash a car. Just a little PSA announcement here. And if you're doing this and all of a sudden you hear something going like scratching underneath it, stop, clean the panel off, clean your block sandpaper out, because we call them zingers. It might be a piece of clear, it might be a piece of trash. It was under the clear, and all this doing is scratching. Don't keep going. That's why I kind of like to hand do this versus DA, and it's a lot faster. But the time you hear that zinger on a DA, you done scratched the hootenanny out of it. Whew, I'm out of breath. It's a good workout. All right, I'm just going to take a dry Scotch shop rag here and just wipe all the sludge off. We'll let it dry and come back and look, and if all the peel is pretty much gone, they can be a little bit, but if all of it pretty much gone, we will 2,500 it, and then we'll go to the Harbor Freight and buy a buffer just for you guys. It always happens when I get ready to do a video, something will break. I gotta buy something, fix something. I will say, now that is a good buffer, that Roops buffer, whatever it's called. It's buffed a lot of cars. That must be a common problem because there's a ton of YouTube videos on there. Get the rest of the sludge off it. It's looking pretty good. And maybe we'll get our 25, we'll kind of blend this in area here. All right, guys, we're jumping on over to the 2,500 now on the same block. We're gonna do it the same way. We just don't have to hog on it. We're gonna do, probably gonna do half the bed. Do half the bed first and then do the other half. You don't have to do such a small area. But really all we're doing is we're getting rid of these scratches. We're gonna go down in these areas here a little further like that to blend that in. And you really don't have to hog on it with this either. We're just gonna go over about 3 times per Dale. There's one. We'll come back over different directions. This is the second round here. A little squeeze. Get down that radius right there. Number 3 here. Good thing about this soft block, you can kind of conform it down to this little radius. Yeah, we're gonna do one more. I can still feel just a little. Must have missed up in there. It'll actually, after this 25, it'll start getting a little bit of a sheen. We'll wipe it off and let you take a gander at it, and you can start seeing a little reflection in it. Finish this front half up. You can do this bedside stuff in about an hour, guys, as long as it don't have a whole lot of peel in it. Start up here at the top, go over 2 or 3 times. Like I said, I'm not doing the top of this bed rail because it's got all kind of chips and stuff in it. We sprayed over it, but I'm not gonna fool with it. About winded. All right, guys, well, got the 2,500 done, got it wiped off. I'm gonna show you. Check out the reflection it already has in the 2,500. Now this is the non-buffed. If you come up here, you can see a slight reflection in it. But yeah, we'll get back with that new buffer from Harbor Freight. We'll set it up and show you. I hadn't decided if I'm gonna just get a rotary buffer or I'm gonna see if I got a DA one. I may get a rotary one. A lot of people like the rotaries. I can show you some tips on them. Now I don't use the wool pads. I'd rather cut with sandpaper and get it flat. You can cut with wool pads, but I just ain't a fan of them. Just my preference. There's 100 ways to do this. Just choose which one you want. So go get a bean, go get a buffer. We'll be back. Alright guys, it's the next day. We're gonna get this video wrapped up, and me and Dad went up to the old Harbor Freight and scooped up one of these units. I looked at several. They had the Hercules. There's a few things I didn't like about it. I just can't bring myself to buy. I have a rotary buffer in there, and if I have to have it, I wanted a good backup because we are going to fix the Rupes because that thing is choice. But this here unit here, this Bauer unit, it looks so much like that Rupes 21. So we're gonna crack her open and try her real quick, see how she does. We're just gonna review this thing as we go because I ain't even cracked the seals on it yet, so I don't know what it's gonna do. I got my little 6-inch microfiber pads that we use on the Rupes. We're gonna knock them on this because it's a pretty basic copy, and as we run it, I'll let you know how it does. Like I said, I don't know nothing about it. It looked pretty well built. I mean, we'll just see when we put the pressure on it whether it rotates. It's a 7.5 amp. It'll go from 2,000 to 4,600 RPM. So let's get it cracked open and get to buffing. It says it comes with the, I hope it does because I didn't look at that. It says it comes with the 6-inch hook and loop backing pad. I think it was $79 is what I paid for it. And I did get the warranty, so I'm not a big warranty guy on anything, but Harbor Freight has one of the best warranties. And unless they change them, I'm gonna keep buying them. I've always been told if it plugs in the wall, get the warranty. But I've never had any trouble out of much Harbor Freight stuff. Get this open. Well, the backing pad even looks like a, I think it comes with a 90-day warranty. It looks a lot like the Rupes does. And the handle, the way you hold it, the way it rotates, it's good and tight around the motor. I mean, it feels just like we'll put a mark on it like this so we can watch it rotate just like we did on the Rupes. But yeah, everything's sanitary. It's got some pictures. That's all I need to see. But with the 90-day warranty and the $16 warranty, I got 27 months to destroy this thing. But it should be good. Here's our Meguiar's. We'll link all these down below and stuff I use. This is for the 205, the polishing. Here's our compound. That's the 205. That's the polishing I use. And here's the cut, 105, 205. It's easy to remember. That's what I use. Sometimes they have these at Harbor Freight. I use two different. All my polishing ones I use, when you buy these, you buy them like a 3/8 or something thickness on them, and then the ones I cut with, I do a little thinner. So I have a 105 and 205. Never mix your pads because you'll be defeating the purpose. So we're gonna get this thing here undid and try her out. See how she does. We'll go, since it's got dew all over the bed, I'm gonna wipe it off one more time so we ain't cutting stuff. I think this thing's supposed to have like a 12 or 13 foot cord, which is pretty cool. Tell you, I'm a fan of the Harbor Freight, or as we call it, the man mall. They got some nice stuff. I have to control myself when I go in there. I did buy me a new backing pad for my rotary buffer just in case. I will say, first glance at this, don't feel like a cheap cord or nothing. It feels good and flexible and soft, not them old hard things. Yeah, she's pretty long. So let's see real quick how this, sounds of summer, sirens. Works great. Yeah, just a good practice real quick. We're gonna do a quick fall go over since it's got dew on it. Make sure there ain't no dust or anything settled on it, because you don't want to get any little zingers underneath there and scratch up all the hard work you've already done. So we're just gonna do a quick wipe here. Get me a roll around. I'm getting old. My back can't handle this bent over stuff. So you're gonna want you a good microfiber rag to keep in your pocket to wipe the stuff off. We're starting out with the Ultra Cut 105. I will say I've tried this with rotary. For some reason this stuff I don't know, just don't like the rotary machines, but works good with these DA machines. Oh, that's pretty clean. And for those that don't know how these work, these are the, like I said, these are the DA machines. So what it'll do, this thing will spin this way and it'll spin this way. So it's a dual action. It spins this way and rotates this way. And the reason we're gonna put this thing has a mark on it. Check that, they did it already. I might get me a little brighter mark. You see this mark right here? So what you want to see, I'm gonna get a brighter Sharpie and mark it, but as you're buffing, you don't want to, if you roll it on the side a little bit, you want this turning this way as it does this too. So if you put a mark on there, it just lets you know, because it cuts faster as it doing it this way and that way. I looked at the Hercules, it was supposed to be the better one. It was $119. It had what it called, and I don't know, I didn't buy it because that reason, that may not be what it is, but it had what it's called forced rotation, so you couldn't just spin this like that. And the only reason I don't like it, because it kind of turns it into a rotary machine. And if you get into a tight place, it's just going to dig, to where this one, if you lean it on here a little bit, it'll slow it down, it won't dig in. And for first time users, it's the way to go. Yeah, I'll show you real quick. I'm gonna do it on the 3 setting. It goes to 6. We'll start out with 3, we'll run it up. But all right, this is how you want to sauce these up. You don't want to chunk a bunch of stuff on them. Make sure they're clean. We wash them after every use. But I just do a few dots around like this here. And then the trick is you want to work it into these, because each one of these fibers, you want every fiber on this thing here to be coated in compound, because it just speeds it up. If you just go through and mar it on there and do it, what you do is you just work it in. I take what little bit of fingernails I got, and you just rub it in. Just make sure every one of those fibers has this compound on it, because the more it's got compound on it, better job it's going to do. Work that in a little bit, do you a couple more. It's mainly just on the first one, because after a while it'll get loaded up and you can take an air nozzle. I'll show you that in a little bit, because it'll glaze over and it won't start. It'll glaze over and it won't cut near as good. So all right guys, we'll wipe my hands off of my microfiber here. Let's get to boofing. All right, I may put just a couple little drops, not a lot. We don't want this stuff flying everywhere. And then we're on setting, we're gonna put it on 3, and I just take it and kind of just, the area that I'm gonna buff, I just kind of work it. So here we go. You don't put a lot of pressure. You basically let the buffer do the job. You're just kind of supporting it here. And we'll watch this mark here, and we want this turning the whole time it's doing the DA thing. You see how the mark's moving around? I think we're gonna go up to the 4. I like it so far. It's the first time I've used it. I'm not putting any pressure. I just let my hand rest on it. And just kind of overlapping. That was real time, guys, and I will say, and that comes from the Rupes is like a $400 some buffer. I'm gonna tell you guys, look, I mean, that was real time, no cuts, no speed ups, no edits, no nothing. I mean, that's, what was that, a minute, 2? Let's see what it says on here. That was from the time I started yakking till now. It was 1:50 seconds, almost 2 minutes to do that. I mean, let me get you up here a little closer. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. This is spray paint. I mean, look at the reflection quality. You can tell when we get over here to the area where it's stopped buffing. I mean, check that out. I mean, that's pretty nice if I say so myself. I mean, y'all can actually, if there's a little more light around here, it is dark around here. I mean, you can see yourselves in there. $79, guys, for this buffer. I mean, it's a little louder than that Rupes, but like I said, it's a $400 or $500 buffer. It works great, but I tell you, Harbor Freight's done a number on this thing. It works good. Like I said, you just got to cut it up to 2500, it pops up in a minute. I mean, I think we can, if I wasn't filming and yakking and stuff and trying to remember everything I need to tell you, I could probably buff this in 5 minutes, a whole bedside. Can you do that with a rotary? Maybe. All right, guys, y'all probably couldn't hear me when I was doing it, but I just want to tell you real quick how I'm doing this. I'm just doing like a 50% overlap, just like you spray and stuff. Just work your small area, and I'll go over it 2 or 3 times, 3 for Dale mainly. Usually when you start seeing the compound come off and it starts to shine a little bit, that's usually a good time to stop and re-saucer up there. So we just gonna go back and just like we did before, I'm just gonna put some little droppies here and there and massage her in here. Get all this covered up. This old pad here is about wore out. The older they get, they start glazing over, or whatever you want to call it, faster, get loading up. I need to buy some more, but these Meguiar's are great. They're microfiber 6-inch. I love these things. Alrighty, and you notice there's no gloop everywhere. I hadn't even wiped this panel off to where a rotary, it covers the world in this junk. I will say, it's pretty loud. I may go in there and get me some earplugs, because it's just got this screech where the Rupes ain't near as loud, but it's still loud. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go grab me some earplugs. But look at that, guys. Real time. I mean, it's hard to beat that. Gee-wee, she's slicker than snot. That's what I'm talking about. Spray paint. Who would ever thunk it? I wouldn't have. You'd have told me this a year ago, you can make spray paint look this good. But I never tried it. I just never did. I just thought it wouldn't work. I'm used to spraying $800 a gallon clear. Oh, that's the only way to go. Now, is this $800 a gallon clear? No. Is it going to last as long? Probably not. I'd say you get a good year or 2 out of this. If you keep it inside, you'll get longer than that. But out in the sunshine, but I need to do me a panel because I got to keep making content and I'm painting over stuff. I need to do me a panel and just sit out here in the sun and just cut and buff it and let it set and see what she does for you guys. I may do that next time we spray. Y'all help remind me of that. I need to get a panel and paint it and was hanging on the back of the trailer or something. The only downfall I can see with this thing is it's loud. And it's not getting too hot. It's getting a little warm, but these things get a little heat to them when you run them a little bit. I'll tell you what, it spins good. It's got the same sweep as the Rupes. The Rupes has got a 21 millimeter sweep. The more sweep you can get, the bigger area it does and overlaps. But get y'all in there real quick and peel this tape off and show you the before and after. Good gravy, guys. Look at that. I wish I hadn't went over it a little bit. That's crazy. Spray paint. It looks like a tape line. I mean, like a hard, you can't feel it. But you'll see how fast it'll buff right over it and take that out of there. But man, that is just so crazy. We're gonna try to get this line took out of here real quick and make sure there ain't no remnants of that. I just wanted to show you all the before and after difference on this right here. But also I wanted to shout out my buddy Kevin Tates. He's got the Paint Education channel. This cat knows what he's doing in the paint and body world. And he's got a ton of tips. I'm still learning. Never stop learning, guys. I always never think you know it. I try to learn constantly. I follow a lot of painters and stuff like that, and I pick up tips and stuff. But Kevin does a phenomenal job. You guys already know who he is. Probably I'm gonna put his link to his channel down there. Make sure you go over and show him some love. Tell him that Adrian from AC Designs Garage sent you over there. But he did a real good review on the Paint Shaker 4000. I appreciate that, Kevin. And like I said, he's got a lot of great knowledge on paint and body and stuff, and I go over and learn stuff too. Keep learning, guys. So all right, let's get on it. But I'll drop his channel link down below. I like these. I love these Streamlight. Listen, I gotta get me a new O-ring for it. USB-C or whatever it is. Telephone hooker upper. But these are some great little lights. I use these for paint correction. And you can go in here and you can see it's got any swirls or anything like that. But just look at the clarity in this thing. I want you to see where that line was at. I'm gonna buff it out too. But it took that line we had, took it out real good. Right. Yeah, earplugs are definitely a plus. Alright guys, check her out. I'd say she qualifies as slicker than snot. Alright guys, we've changed our pad out to our 205 pad. You're centered on there as good as you can. Yeah, get that shook up, all shook up real good. I need to make me a paint shaker for these. Yeah, it's open. So we're gonna do it the same way. We're gonna sauce it up, rub it in real good on it, and we'll just work a bigger area. We don't have to hang around as long because we're not trying to take the big scratches out now. We're just trying to take the buff marks out pretty much, and it's gonna bring it up to a lot richer shine. Probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes. That looks killer. Look at that. And that stuff's just got such clarity. That stuff buffs so nice. Let's finish the rest of it. All right, that's half the bed done. All in all, that's her. What you guys think about the old Bauer? I like it so far. It gets a little warm, not bad. Makes a lot of racket, but besides that, it's got some beef to it. It's fairly heavy. It's not undesirable heavy. It's pretty balanced though, because you can just hold it like this. I mean, I can buff with it almost like using a DA. It'll hold. A lot of times if I'm on a hood or something, on the side's a little harder. If you get rolled up, it'll want to get a little wonky, but on a hood, you can just basically just go with it. And you saw how fast it buffs up. I don't know why guys don't like these things. I guess old dog, new trick thing. I don't know. I try to keep an open mind to this new technology, because if I ain't got to work as hard, I ain't going to. As for the Velcro, she's tough, guys. And one thing, I don't know if you can see it or not, hold your pad like this and this, because if you just try to rip it off, these pads ain't gonna last near as long. But you can see that bad boy is not gonna come off. Yeah, it's got your tool made in right here for the take your pad off. It looks just like the Rupes pad. Yeah, I'm impressed. I would suggest this. I'm not sponsored by Harbor Freight, but hey guys, if you're watching, hit me up. But yeah, I use a ton of Harbor Freight stuff. I've used it for years. The early stuff was a little questionable, but I'll tell you what, guys, y'all stepped y'all's game up, and I am impressed. I'll link one of these, but I don't know if I can on Amazon. If not, if y'all ain't got a Harbor Freight near you, I'll see if I can find a link for it. But works good, guys. 79 bucks, what it was. And if you do that inside track thing, whatever, it may be cheaper. I don't know. Anyhow, let's take one last gander at her. There she is, guys. Polished to a max. I mean, I will say I'm impressed. I have a lot of guys say that stuff's not going to last a year, and it may not. I mean, you can paint this bed for 120 bucks. That's enough jabbering, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate all y'all helping the people out up in Western North Carolina. We're going to cut that check. I'm thinking it's going to be around $500 some. We're going to send it to the children's home up there. We may try to do some more stuff for these people, because it's been about almost a month and it's still bad up there, guys. And I'm not even going to go into what the government, we don't do that on here. But anyways, they're not getting the help they need. I don't understand why, but anyway, we're going to try to keep our community. Like I see a lot of YouTubers helping out, going up there doing stuff. We may try to go up there and volunteer some and stuff, but appreciate all y'all sending the money and buying the shirts and all that stuff. It's going to help a bunch of kids out, and we'll go help a bunch of other people out. So remember, pray for these people. Don't forget about them. The people down in Florida, Georgia, where all these hurricanes have been nailing us up down through the East Coast. But hope you enjoyed it. Remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless. We gone.